You are listening to the Bright Life Podcast, all about ways to stay inspired, chase your dreams, and find more gratitude in the highs and lows of the journey. I'm your host, Jessica Johnson. I'm a business owner, a part-time digital nomad, a self-growth junkie, a believer in other big-hearted women, and am all about sharing tips, tricks, lessons learned, and encouragement so we can all live our biggest, brightest lives. You ready? Let's do this. Hi, welcome to today's episode. So I know you hear me talk about copywriting and why I think it's this undiscovered opportunity for women to create location freedom and schedule flexibility and the ability to make what they do in their 9-to-5 as their own boss and to wake up excited for their days building something of their own and writing for businesses they're passionate about. But that's obviously my perspective, having grown a copywriting agency and being able to travel because of copywriting, giving me that freedom. But I wanted to share from someone else so you can hear it from more perspectives, because everyone has a different idea of what freedom looks like to them and what their brightest life and business looks like to them. So today I'm going to share with you a live on Instagram that I recorded with one of our Bright Life Biz graduates. So Bright Life Biz is my program that teaches women in 8 weeks how to build a copywriting business, both the writing side and how to get clients and set everything up. And so Courtney went through the program, and I will let her share with you the success that she's had and what it's meant for her and her life and what her vision was. But I wanted to set this up for you so you could get to know her and fall in love as much as I have with who she is and what she's building, and even get some ideas for what you could do as well. And if you are interested, make sure you check out brightlifebiz.com because we are enrolling this week. This will be the last round of the year. And so if you would like to set up your business this fall, have it all set up by the holidays, bringing in your first leads and clients and income, then go to brightlifebiz.com where you can reserve one of the spots and get started next week. All right, I will talk to you soon. Hey, Courtney.
Hello.
Hello. So I was just telling everyone that we're basically here to just talk about the journey of becoming a copywriter. Annie's an amazing healthcare writer. She has a master's of science in health science. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. And so you've written for sites like Livestrong, for health.com, for Eating Well, for Health News, all of these major sites in the healthcare world. And so today we're going to just talk through, what it's like with copywriting, what it was like taking a program for it, what made you decide to do that, and just all the things. Courtney, why don't you give in your own words maybe a quick second of who you are and anything you want to share, and then we'll dive in.
Okay, so yeah, I'm Courtney. I've been writing my whole life pretty much. I just love writing. It's in my blood. My mom was a published author as well. And I took Jessica's course last year, and I launched my business last year, and it's going really well, and I'm loving it. And I'm just here to share a little bit about my journey.
Okay, so maybe share a little bit. It's really cool that it's in the family and that it's something that you enjoy doing. I feel like I hear that a lot from women who get into copywriting, but there was always something in them where maybe it wasn't even writing professionally, but they knew they liked keeping journals or notes or lists or things. And so it's really fun that you kind of had that in the family as well. So what was your background like before copywriting?
So I was a stay-at-home mom for a lot of years, actually. My husband traveled all over the world for his job, and so I was home with the kids. I worked here and there when we needed some extra money, but for the most part, I was home with kiddos, and while they were in school growing up, I would take college classes because I knew I wanted to have a career at some point, once they were a little bit older. And so I ended up going and getting my bachelor's in anthropology, and then I went on for my master's degree in health science. And as far as writing, I had never done it other than for school and then my own just for fun. I strangely enough, I never really was consistent at keeping a journal, but from the time I was probably 10, I was always writing stories and, modeling what I saw my mother do because she wrote a lot. And then actually my brother also authored a book as well. So it's just in the blood.
It is. That's awesome. What made you interested in copywriting as a business and kind of took you from that place of, okay, like I've seen this in my family, but now I think I actually want to make a business out of this and do this as my own boss?
So I found myself in a place where I was finished with school, my kids were grown, and my husband was still traveling. And I was ready for my own career, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But I did know I wanted to do something from my computer, something that I can do wherever I am, so I can travel with my husband, see amazing things in the world. And I started seeing on Instagram people talking about making money writing for these great businesses, and I saw these, I was always reading health articles and nutrition articles and noticing that they all have different names. It's not like staff writers. And I started wondering, who are these people that get to
Yeah.
write for these authors? And so I started looking into it because I wanted something that would give me location freedom, so I could, if my husband was working, in California, I could go to California with him.
Yes, absolutely. What made you decide once you got that idea of, okay, I want a little bit of this location freedom, I want something I can do from online as my business? What made you decide to take a program to learn how to do that?
Well, first, I didn't even know there were programs. I was
Yeah.
so new to it. I didn't even know what questions to ask. And I started looking online and seeing what other people did. And there's so much information out there, a lot of writers sharing their journeys. And I started getting overwhelmed with all the information, and some of it conflicted. One person says, do this, and another person says, that didn't work for me, do this. And I got to a point where it was like information overload. And I was so overwhelmed, I didn't know where to start. And I started thinking, you know what, I just need one person who's gone down that path that I can have as my mentor, and I can just block out all of the other advice because there's too much of it. And, if you start reading about it and watching videos about it, it's like there's 500 years worth of information out there.
Yeah.
So I needed one person, and that's when I found your course, and that really helped calm everything down for me. And I thought, okay, I that's what I need a course with one mentor, and it simplified everything for me.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah. I mean, that's like the beauty and the hard part of the internet is like you have all this information, but you also have all this information and you don't
Yeah,
know like what's the right stuff, what isn't, or some works for some people, some doesn't for other people. And then now I feel like it's ever growing. Now you not only have Google articles like back in the day, but now you have YouTube and now there's TikTok and then there's
right.
Instagram. So I agree. I like that approach. Obviously, I'm a little biased because I love courses and programs and take them too. But I do think that that nugget that you said of like choosing one path and one course or one mentor that you identify with, no matter who it is, if they have the experience in doing what you want to do and you feel like you resonate with them, that can help a lot. Just be like, here's the step-by-step path versus here's the whole internet and good luck piecing it all together, kind of.
Right. Exactly. It's just so overwhelming. And there's so much great information, but you also wonder, what is their background? Do they really know what they're talking about?
Yeah.
And so it's good to have one person that can mentor you that has gone down that path and knows what they're talking about.
And so what was most helpful for you out of Life Biz, which if you guys are just joining, we're talking about the journey of copywriting. And then Courtney's a graduate of my program where it takes you through how to build a copywriting business over 8 weeks, both how to write and then get clients. So does anything stand out for you that was like most helpful throughout that process?
Throughout the course? Yeah, well, a lot. So what helped a lot, I think, for me is it kind of demystified a lot of the steps because I knew I wanted a business and I wanted to write, but from getting from, point A to B, how to do it, exactly what do I do. And so with the course laid out in 8 weeks, in order, showing you exactly, you start day one. You don't even have to be a strong writer. You don't have to have any business background. You start there, and at the end of 8 weeks, you know what you're doing. And so that was very helpful for me. And then a few little things along the way, like one of the things that was overwhelming to me was the idea was SEO. And I had heard these strange words like search
Yeah.
engine optimization. I didn't know what they meant. And again, I had started reading things. Everybody's got information out there, and I was honestly a little intimidated.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand it, but the course explains it. In your course, you explain it so easily in simple terms. And when I got to that module, I thought, oh, it's actually not that complex. I can do that.
Yeah. Sounds very
um,
technical, but then you can break it
yeah.
down, but it's also, to your point, one of those things you can go so deep on and build a
Mhm.
whole, business around SEO and become the expert. And then it can get very complex, but if you can just take the writing. So I'm glad that that was actually helpful
Yeah.
and broke it down a lot more.
Yeah. Looking at it as just a help for my writing, it really simplified it and demystified it for me. And
Good.
then another thing that really helped in the program was getting your feedback and your edits on our work. And you pointed out things that I hadn't really thought of or hadn't really noticed that I did, and that I it was like having an English teacher,
Yeah.
really helped me strengthen my writing abilities.
Good. Do you have anything that stands out as like advice you'd give someone who is new into their copywriting or online business journey and they're like looking to get started? What stands out to you as little hot tips?
So I was really nervous doing it.
Yeah.
I would say don't be scared because there's so much work. There's so many companies that need writers, copywriters and content writers, and it doesn't matter what you love writing about, there's someone who needs that writing. So as long as you follow the steps and put yourself out there and keep going, keep going, keep going, then you will find work. It's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, I mean, for me personally, the money I spent on the course, I earned back, and I'm not even a full-time writer. I don't want or need to work full-time, and so in my part-time writing, I made all that money back in more in just a couple
Oh, good.
months. Um, and then another thing is that joining this, it really kind of, you find that there's a really supportive community of writers out there, and everybody's so willing to share tips and their experience, and it's just a really welcoming community, I think. I
Good.
don't think it's like competitive and ugly at all. I have
Yeah.
never seen that. It's just a beautiful community of women that are supporting each other, and
Yeah.
men.
Yes, women and men. Yeah, I love that you say that because I think that's almost one of the benefits that it's not like necessarily why you go into copywriting or online business. But it is kind of one of the, I don't know, just hidden things that I've found as well, where just like there's the community you get to meet and the women who are cheering for you and supporting you, and you're all seeing each other's work, and it just becomes like this beautiful bonus part of your life that wasn't even there before that you get
Right.
through this experience.
Yeah, and it was surprising to me because no one goes into freelance writing at your own home by yourself for because you want to be around people. It's obviously
Right.
it can be an isolating field, but it doesn't feel that way at all. There's such a great community of support out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I love hearing what you said because it's so true. I think it's learnable
Hmm.
for anyone. If you follow the steps, you can get there,
Hmm.
get the feedback on your work, or, if you want a program or a mentor that provides that, then that can help.
Big time.
And then putting yourself out there, which I think you really beautifully did, of just like this is what I'll do. These are where I'll get the clients, and adopting that belief, because there are millions of businesses out there. They all have writing. It seems like it's only growing these days, all the places businesses have to write. But that's
Right.
a really good blessing if you're in the field of content writing, because you get to help them write all this, and that means more business for you. So I
Mm-hmm.
just think the way you did it and emulated that, I just respect and admire so much. And any healthcare brand, or if anyone's watching and they like work for a healthcare company, or you're interested in healthcare writing, like Courtney's someone to follow and just watch. She's always posting, her latest projects. So it's just been so fun to see that as well.
Thank you. That's very, very sweet. And I couldn't have done it without you. You have been such a great mentor and cheerleader, and you're always so positive, and your course has so many ideas of how to find clients and where to look and places that I hadn't even considered before. And so you've been a huge help to me.
Good. Oh, thank you. I hope that's helpful to hear a little bit of like, here's someone who came in deciding to make this a whole new business, and within a few months, what can happen, and how you've created a whole life where you've been able to say, these are the amount of hours that I actually want to work and need to work to hit this certain rate that I'm going for. And then the rest, you can have a full life with the traveling with your spouse or wherever it leads you, is beautiful.
It's not a bad
Not a bad way. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for attending. And thank you, Courtney. Keep crushing it.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening in. If you love this episode, I have 2 things you are going to love. One is a free copywriter training full of 5 steps to build a profitable copywriting business as your own boss, no matter how much experience you're starting with. Copywriting is what took me from a 9-to-5 to freedom as my own boss, to travel, choose my schedule, replace my corporate income, and have time to work on creative projects like this podcast. And I'd love to give other women the same opportunity. Another, of course, is my book, Your Bright Life. You can find it on Amazon or Audible, where I narrate the audiobook, so it's kind of like a podcast in book form. All of these things are in the podcast show notes. Thank you again for listening. I appreciate you and your review so much, and I'll see you back here next Thursday.